You're watching Suckprofessor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by...
James.
Hello, James. Good sir. James is from the North America Company. Welcome to our episode. Shut up! I'm doing the thing, the intro. I'm hosting it. Welcome to the episode, everybody. Third episode, episode 3, with Tom Hardy as the Taboo. James, did you enjoy the episode?
Yes.
Great. Okay. We're gonna do a shot-by-shot, screenshot, detailed recap. Right?
Yes.
I feel like I just said some words that are loosely related. So there's going to be tons of spoilers, just so you know. So let's just get to it and quit fucking around. Right, James?
Let's do it.
All right. We open up on a muddy, gross undershot of a dock or something, and it comes up. We got some old rotten out logs. I think that's what England is mostly filled with.
That's the Delaney septic tank they're digging up.
This is their septic tank. He's been on a long journey. These are his poops. It's horrible, but he's very organized. So anyway, we got a dead bod. This is the Malay with the silver tooth.
Yep. Previous episode ended at the death of the Melee, and we saw...
Melee
is combat.
Melee is
hand-to-hand combat.
Video games when you use your up-close punch.
Well, actually, it's not...
What I do to you when you're in my way.
Yes. Because is he Malaysian or...
Malaysian, yeah.
Malaysian, so they call him a Melee.
Yeah, Malaysian is the nation where everybody just punches each other all the time. Okay, I don't. Okay.
Anyway, we know the last episode, he got into a scuffle. He was the assassin that was hired by the East India Company to take out James Delaney because they wanted to get the Nuka Sound property from him.
Yes.
But he follows him, gets in a fight, ends up being killed by Delaney, but Delaney doesn't get out unscathed. He gets stabbed in the gut.
Yes.
Which we don't know his fate.
We don't know his fate, but we had our last sighting. Sighting was him collapsed on the ground or like leaned up.
Right, but even more interesting, he's washed up on the shore. But when we saw him, he got killed in the street.
In an alley somewhere.
Right, so did someone dump him into the river? Did he float down?
I don't know. But these local beach urchins have discovered him, and they're swarming around him. These little kids, beachcombers, these gross street people, and they find him and they look, oh, look, they think it's a her for a second, and look, there's crabs. Oh,
yeah, it's pretty morbid.
Gross. Those are nasty. I mean, geez. I mean, I've had, well, I've never had crabs, James, but I can imagine it's got to be. I mean, if they're that big, that's easy. The doctor just has to diagnose you real quick.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there he is. He's crawling on your head. You got crabs.
Yes.
Sorry. So this is one of the street kids finds him, and
but more importantly, one of the main street kid is Winter.
Yes, I think we're getting up to that.
Yeah, but you can hear her voice at this point.
Yeah, right. And so we obviously the silver tooth. That's another kid straight off the set of fucking steampunk Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know, some kid. He's the demon children from
Children of the Corn.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh yeah,
Fury Road. It's
Fury Road.
He likes to bang furries at a furry convention. So this is Winter comes up. I didn't recognize it as Winter right away though. In the first, only until later on.
Yeah, Winter is always coming.
Winter is always coming.
We made this before and it went bad, so let's not.
We can make jokes there. Yeah,
but anyway, she says something. I think one of the kids says,
back up a little.
Yeah, fish. A kid says, "A fish ate its heart out," or something like that. But I think she says, "No, it won't no fish," because I think she was implying that she knows it was Delaney who removed his heart.
Yeah, that's true.
And then she takes his tooth.
And as most people know, human men who have knives and are fully grown are more dangerous than fish. Mm-hmm. So there he is, speaking of a human man, but he's all fucked up now. He's going wounded and he's being stitched up by some close-up tight shots of a bloody gross stitching cut wound thing. And we hear a voice of a familiar accent, not unlike James's accent, an American.
Yeah, which someone mentioned in the comment in a prior video, that it's really stupid that he has a flat, plain American accent. Because at this point in time, the division between the British in England and the colonists, there wasn't enough time for the voices to actually change.
They hadn't sounded like they're from Madison, Wisconsin.
Exactly. Yet. I mean, I think that now that I think about it, I agree with the comment that that's kind of ridiculous.
He's supposed to be like, "Hello, Mr. Englishman, I'm an American."
Yeah.
Right? I don't know how to do it. But yeah, there is that kind of old-timey American way of talking that was sort of like, it was kind of like devolving or evolving away from British English or something.
And the strange thing is about this guy, the last time we saw him, Delaney was pushed out of the room by him at gunpoint saying he got like the code word wrong.
Yes.
Because we know this guy is an American, he's a spy, he's a doctor, he's a dyer, he's all sorts of things.
Meaning dyeing clothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he dyes all the time. He's from Westworld.
Yeah.
No, but he knows that he's no friend of Delaney. Delaney is no friend of his.
Right.
But Delaney needs him because he's looking for a person named Carlsbad.
Yes.
Because he wants to relay information and make an offer to the Americans through Thomas Jefferson.
To get to Thomas Jefferson, which is something I'm always trying to do. I go down to the park, I spend 9 or 10 hours a day yelling about trying to get in touch with Thomas Jefferson.
Right.
No, nobody ever tries to help me. People throw money at my feet, and then I scare them off. It's fucking annoying. I'm just trying to get in touch with fucking Thomas Jefferson. All right? Got a message for him.
Yeah, so but at this
I want him to subscribe.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but at this point, we don't know how he came to be in the care of the doctor. We can only assume that he staggered and got himself there.
No, but the doctor explains he had somebody following him, doesn't he?
Right. We hadn't gotten there yet.
Oh, sorry. All right, geez, sorry. All right. But this is a flashback, like part of the exposition of the doctor explaining what's going on. We're not cutting to this, but yeah, they show him kind of wrestling with the guy.
Like you said, he mentioned that he witnessed the attack and was following him.
Yeah. Would he personally, you think, was? Or
well, I think he had
an
people,
agent for him?
agents of his.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. He says the guy says he saw him do something terrible by the biting of him, and he says and he wanted the day off. Apparently, even back then, they got disturbed by.
But here's the thing:
shit.
do you think that James Delaney intentionally, because he already had stabbed the guy, he had advantage of him. So did he really need to take a bite out of his throat?
I don't think that was necessary.
I think he did it though because the word on the street was that he was a savage cannibal from Africa, and I think he wanted to do that to make the people realize, to make the people talk, so they wouldn't mess with him as much. To kind of give legitimacy to the rumors.
I hear what you're saying. I think there's a lot to be said for kind of keeping your adversaries on edge, knowing that you might bite their jugular out.
And he's a tactical guy.
He is a tactical guy. However, and I don't know where I land on this, but in the heat of that moment, being stabbed, assaulted on the street in an alley, of course he's a tough guy, he's thinking it through. But that's a pretty, you're in a pretty agitated state when you're fighting a guy with a knife, and you just stabbed him and you've probably been stabbed or whatever. So I don't know how much tactical thinking, really long-term strategic planning is going on in that specific moment. But you're right, because it does serve its purpose.
How much would it take to get you to do that?
$5. I'll do it for some Del Taco packets.
McDonald's coupon. Yeah. McDonald's
expired McDonald's coupons. I'll do it for a half-empty bottle of Diet Mountain Dew Code Red. I'll fucking do it. I'm sorry. If you can get me in touch with Thomas Jefferson.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right. So then it turns out though this guy sounds like he communicated with his betters back home, or his coworkers, colleagues, the Americans, and it sounds like they're interested in what this Nootka sound guy has.
Because at first he thought it was just like some guy trying to out him or some guy that couldn't be trusted, but now he's saying the word on the street is that you're running around parading around with the treaty to Nootka sound, saying that you've got something fancy, so now you've got my ear. But because I've got you at an advantage now, I'm going to get information out of you while you're under my knife.
Yes, and that was brutal. He starts, so he's helping him and he's stitching him up, and he says something too, which I think I missed, and maybe I didn't, but I think I missed. He says, "You take pain like stone" or something. Because he's like, "How many more?" It sounds like he's wincing every time he stabs him with the needle thread knife. Yeah, see, Thomas Jefferson, my fucking, damn it. What's his email? Do you know his email? altavista.com?
Yeah.
All right, and the President of the United States, so he would find me an emissary to time. So they're really, it's just so they're random. Like, this is the knife he pulls out. He goes, "This is the knife that he got attacked with. You think it's Chinese? Or is it Malay?" And then he starts, like, I guess just...
It looks like he's digging into his leg.
I don't know if they showed him. I just assumed he was poking him in the wound. I feel like
that's possible.
If I've got a guy handcuffed down to my table and I want to make him hurt, I'm going to poke him in the wound.
But again, if I just stitched him up, I won't want to mess up my handiwork.
True. But at the same time, they're all evil because this is Britain in the 1800s.
Freaking Americans.
Yeah.
Did you say what his name was yet?
His name is the bald guy from House of Cards.
Oh,
yeah. He squirts whiskey into his mouth with a hypodermic.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he says something. I think he said that he took care of the guy, threw the attacker into the river for him.
Yes. And he says, "We had a silent deal. I stitch you up. You give me information. Basically, this is how this works. I saved your life. Now you owe me."
Yeah. So the information that he wants from him, perfect timing, is that he wants to know, what do you want in return for Nootka? Yeah. What do you want?
And he won't really say so. He says, tea. So, he's got kind of an interesting way of talking.
So what he's really saying is that he wants to relay a message to Carlsbad that he wants tea, and by tea, he means that he wants all the tea in China, basically.
Yes.
He wants exclusivity to a trade route between, was it Fort George and Canton, China?
Canton, yeah. I've never heard Canton, but it took me a second to realize, because Canton on its own doesn't sound like a Chinese word.
No.
And then Cantonese, Canton. So is Canton, like Mandarin, is that Mandaria. I sound so fucking ignorant right now. But like Canton, I'm assuming that's a region or just obviously it's a pretty substantial place. There's a whole language built out of it. Cantonese.
I have absolutely no clue, so I'll just say yes.
Mandarin and Chinese, or Mandarin and Cantonese are the two like giant languages of Chinese that are somehow mixed together.
I can't even pronounce.
I'm sure I sound like an idiot
from
right now.
Young Pope.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, James. Yeah, James struggles with the word violin.
Yeah.
Say violin.
Violence.
Say fuck. Damn it!
And people still will not accept that I said sucking.
No, you
I'm
said
losing
suck.
sleep over that.
It did, you were doing an accent. It sounded that's a whole different. We could do a separate video. Okay, so from Fort George to Canton, let's try to get through with this. And so he actually does finally say, like, I'm not a crazy. He doesn't say it, but like he sounded crazy, and then he finally explains. Oh yeah, I just want this.
But when the doctor starts, talking about Carlsbad, he lets it slip that Carlsbad is a woman by saying she.
Yes, that's right, and that seemed to be a big clue. James picked up on it right. I heard it too, but James just goes, "Oh, she, huh?" And then, so this is he gets what's his name? James Keziah.
Oh yes, his middle
Keziah.
name. Yes.
Yeah, he says you let me know your little hand there by telling me now I know I'm looking for a lady. And he's like, oh shit. Woo.
Yeah, he basically says I'll give Nuka to whichever side gives me a monopoly on the fur and tea trade.
Yeah.
From Fort George to Canton.
To Canton to make a lot of money selling tea, trading tea. But the lady thing, I guess if you think about it, there's probably not that many women in positions of influence and power
I thought that
in
was
this
kind
time
of
period.
Silly though. It's like, it's like a game of Guess Who.
But,
you can now flip down all the man cards.
Yeah, but there's not that many. It's like finding a man, like, oh, really? You narrowed it down to 98% of the dudes who are calling the shots? But there's a couple...
but it's still 50% of the population.
No, but she's an influential, powerful woman, which means... Because she's dealing with Thomas Jefferson in close... I'm saying...
But she will be keeping that on the down low, of course.
Well, no, I'm saying knowing that it's a woman is a pretty good clue because there's not that many women in these positions.
But what I'm saying...
like his pool of people to look for, oh, it's a smelly white guy with fucked up hair and shitty teeth and he likes to fuck whores. That's like everybody.
But what I'm saying is that information is not that useful because even though she's in a position of power, she's a spy, so she's going to be underground. She's not going to let it be known that she's a person of power.
Yes, it's not the same as having her address and her social security number and her Twitter address or whatever. Not that I don't know why I said that. But like compared to it being a man.
Yeah, I just think he's a little bit too shocked for my taste.
I hear you. I agree. Well, that's what I'm saying. I just thought about it just now. That's why I was like, oh.
He's like, oh no, there's only 3 women out there. What have I done?
2 have gone wild, and just 1 remaining in Washington D.C., District of Columbia. Yeah. So let's get into it. Okay. So now we cut to. Holy shit! I didn't notice this.
You didn't?
No.
That was in the previous one. There was another giraffe. I think it was a giraffe in the room when he was talking in the last episode.
That's the world's craziest lamp. Do they put a light bulb in his mouth and?
And can you believe who this guy actually
is?
He
lights up like Uncle Fester. What, this guy here?
No, that's Coop. The Prince Regent. Prinny.
Where's Murph? Interstellar.
Yeah. But he's the guy who plays, I think he's in the Sherlock series, he's Moriarty. I can't say that either.
Sorry,
and he's also the head of the Iron Bank in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
They put a crap ton of makeup on him, though.
Big belly popping balls. That's what happens when I masturbate.
Okay.
So coming out of the door here, though, is a creature from the wealthy lagoon. Whoever the Regent. Do we still know who this guy is?
The Prince Regent.
The Prince Regent.
His shortcut.
Look at him.
His nickname is Prenny.
Man, I would tip over this fucking giraffe. I would just put my hand on it, thinking it was strong. Although maybe they have like a pillar inside of it or something. Okay, sorry. I'm just thinking it's not practical. It's not practical at all.
Yeah.
How can you take it to the mall? What if it poops? Okay, sorry. So now the king comes out. No, he's not the king.
His legs are downstairs.
Yeah, they're poking through the ceiling. They hang like fruit and meat on its legs and stuff. It's good. Okay, until they learn to toast. Okay, what's going on here? This guy comes out yelling about
Coop
something?
is the secretary to the Prince Regent, to the king. So he's coming to inform him of the situation.
Yes.
So he's basically going to tell him that Delaney has Nuka Sound, and that whoever owns Nuka Sound affords the possibility of a direct trade route with China.
Yeah.
And he says, well, is Coop a loyalist to the crown? He goes, not exactly. He's not. He's a savage. He's difficult to deal with. He's a man of poor repute. So the Prince Regent goes, well, then you shall have a good time negotiating with him.
Yeah.
Go do business with him.
Yeah, that was a subtle, nice little dig. No, not at all, sire. Here's madness and savagery, theft and worse. What's worse than theft? Tattoos. So look at this fucking monster, though. What's going on with this guy? Is he just got some weird disease and, indulges his whole, like, because he's a rich, spoiled guy, he gets to just, like, oh, eat grapes.
Yeah, he looks like the guy from Men in Black with a bug in him.
Yeah. I mean, there was all kinds of illnesses that went untreated, so, I got eczema. It's not that, it's whatever. But he's also got this kind of, like, carriage about the way he carries himself and sort of has this kind of, like...
I mean, you live a life of opulence, you're probably not in the best health. His gut's poking out. He's, probably not of good heredity.
Yeah. He needs a few Lipitors and a couple of kale smoothies and a trainer to turn that shit around, all right? Do some yoga. Look up the professional wrestler who does yoga. Diamond Dallas Page does yoga, turns people's lives around. All right, sorry, I don't know what I'm talking. He does. He's a yoga teacher.
I've never heard of that.
Yoga is so hard.
No, right.
Everybody, there's making fun of yoga. It's got to be over. Anybody thinks it's yoga, fucking try it, man. It'll kill you. It is so hard. Sorry. Okay, back to what is this? Breaking Bad. There's Walter White. That's skinny British Walter White, who is also known as Brace. He comes staggering in. Oh, look at all those nice dishes, James. Wow.
Yeah.
If it's like anything like mine, they're mostly made out of plastic and teeth marks.
And painted on the wall.
Painted on the wall, yeah. And, okay. So he comes in, we need a carpenter. He's like, oh, and he finally figured out, he's like, oh, you're really hurt, man, shit.
Yeah, so the whole point of this scene is that, batten down the hatches, put boards in the wall, plug up the hatch that leads out of the cellar. Yeah. We're in trouble. We're under siege. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go low. We're besieged.
They just tried to kill me. So look, James, this is how I was wearing my shirt the first day you and I met. Remember when I walked up and you saw the glowing, the shine of the sweat from my belly was just glowing in the sunlight. And you said it was the most beautiful thing you'd ever seen. And that then I flicked a piece of vomit out of my chest hair. And we've been friends ever since. So, stabbed him. He's got other scars. This guy's got a tough bod, though, Chicks dig guys with scars. Chicks don't dig guys with wounds. All right? That's from my act. I just quoted.
Nice.
It's fucking... That's from my chunk about when I complain about being bald. So their new thing...
Brandy, right?
Brandy and rags.
But Brandy's not available to perform. So he just has the rag.
Fortunately, Bubbles... so he dips the rag in fucking brandy and then just holds it and he winces, as one would think, and he wraps it around him. Brace helps him out here. Nice little moment. Brace braces him up. Wait, I didn't get a shot of that? Oh, what the fuck?
But Brace does say something that's really intelligent. He's like, why should I bother doing all this stuff? Your father did the same thing. It didn't help him.
Yeah, when he was under siege, you sit there with the same... Like, he's basically saying you're making the same mistakes as your dad.
You're in another loop. Again, you're in Westworld.
Yeah, again, you're in Westworld. And... so he's not really interested. What's his face? Let's back up a little. He just does whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. Brace isn't the one calling the shots. This guy's got his own mind. He's his own independent person. Next scene, this guy, he's rowing. Look, are these clams, mussels, cockles?
Yeah, but that guy's a very unique looking dude.
Yeah, not your typical English fellow.
Yeah, and I think it was revealed as Atticus is on the raft. That's the guy.
Oh, and he is played by the same actor who played Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, I've not seen Boardwalk Empire.
Somebody confirmed it in the comments. Cool. Thank you, commenter.
Yeah, but does he says that this guy is his cousin or half-brother or something like that?
Oh, the guy rowing? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's this mariner world. This is underworld.
Yeah, because basically that guy is one of his henchmen.
Yeah. So the guy, obviously not born in England, I would assume. I mean, unlikely, but he's been in the sea service forever.
Yeah,
so
but he does. He refers to him as a cannibal.
Yeah. Which may or may not be a thing. Like, that just might be because he's different. Meaning, like, oh look, he's not us, therefore he eats people. Yeah. That's why we have to go take him over.
And this is part of the reason why I was thinking that Delaney intentionally did what he did to get word around that he was a dangerous man, because Atticus knows what's going on in the streets. He has his ear to the ground, and yet he's clearly heard of it.
Definitely, and it might not mean intentional, but it could mean it still benefits him. But again, I don't have a strong feeling that you're wrong. I'm just saying it's a lot to think about after you've been stabbed and after you stab a guy while you're chewing on his neck. So anyway, you're right, but you could be totally correct. What do you guys let us know in the comments? What do you think? Is James right, or is Hank also right? Then all right, don't trust the snake. He's well, I don't know. So who's he referring to? Not to trust Atticus. Yeah. So Brace is worried. Brace knows that trouble
is like his protector.
Yeah, he's a concerned guy.
He's Alfred's. You mentioned even that comparison before, Alfred to the Batman. Yeah.
Alfred, I'm going to help you. Do you want some Sunny D?
That's some the best OJ, Morgan Freeman I've ever heard.
Or some purple stuff. I'm doing the guy from Interstellar, Rage.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey.
Rage against the all right. All right, we're getting way off.
You can go back one real quick?
Yeah.
You know what that word means? I don't know what that word means.
You're my victualler. I
can
have
mispronounce
no idea.
it terribly.
Siri, what's a victualler?
Checking my sources.
Ah.
Here's what I found on the web for what's a victualler.
So I got the first link is Victoria's Secret. The second is Urban Dictionary Vic, and the third is wheat allergy on Wikipedia.
Well, that satisfies my knowledge.
Siri,
My thirst for that.
you fucking disappointed me again. Why don't you go away?
Sorry, just trying to help.
All right. Enough with the sass. I can't handle it. So I have no idea. We could Google it, but fuck it, who cares?
Anyway, what we know about this is
let's
that
get back on track.
Delaney wants to do something very important. He needs to get to a place called, what's it called? A certain inn he wants to go to. I can't quite remember. Lincoln's Inn.
Yeah.
And he wants to have Brace go deliver a message to Coop, who is the secretary to the king.
Right.
And he wants to take a boat because he realizes that he can't take the surface streets. He needs to do something very important, but he knows he's a marked man, and he needs protection to do it. So he's going to get on this little dinghy and go off and do what he needs to do.
Yes. He's got his gang of dudes. He sends his guy Brace off to deliver a message to the secretary of the king. That's, and then we cut to, that's it. I mean, Brace has no choice. He's like, oh, fuck, God damn it, this is...
So essentially what's going to happen is that he's going to go and make a will.
Yeah. And Little Dingy, by the way, is the name of my OkCupid profile. So there's the this guy. I thought that we see him later on too. I think.
Yeah, I love this line.
Yeah, I hope I got it. He's with some men with guns, and apparently I can't. That line is what you're talking about.
And even before this, it seemed like Atticus was really interested in talking to Delaney about cannibalism. He was like, "My friend tells me that your forearm is the best, tastiest part of the meat," and he was trying to get stories out of him because originally he wanted stories of Africa and what's the largest thing and what's the smallest thing you saw. So he's a really interesting guy.
Yeah.
But Delaney shut him down. He had no interest in entertaining that thought.
Not yet. Yeah, for sure. He says he wants to make a will, and he goes, "What?" The guy in the newspaper. He's like, "Okay, bring him in." So then he comes running, and he's got a cute little run. I thought, we'll see a little bit more of that run later. Now that's Delaney, right there, going into the British. No. That's Brace.
That's Brace delivering a message to the King Regent.
Yes, so
or the Prince Regent.
Yeah, there he is with the little wax stampy thing there, and here he goes. Okay, and now here he's running. He had a really funny run. He looks like
that's not Brace though.
No, that's the other guy. He's on his way to the East India Company here. But look at him. He's got this funny, like he was like kind of swerving.
It was a noticeably childish type of run. It was very playful. It was strange.
Yeah. Either he's got a foot condition or he just has joie de vivre.
Or maybe it's just like how restrictive the clothing is, or I don't know.
Yeah, this is how I run, except when I run, I also make this noise. All right, so yay, I'm here, and he goes inside, and
I love that it zoomed in on this because it says the Honorable East India Company, and then it immediately cuts to Strange saying "F off." I told you, F off. Yeah. What's honorable about that?
Right, these swearing people. What did he say?
The juxtaposition.
Why is that dishonorable?
Because it is not.
What did he say?
He said something horrible.
That's the most obvious. James, say the word "fuck." You don't even I swear. It's okay but it doesn't hurt your like whatever, and you can't swear that you're with a guy who swears so much.
I don't even do it when I'm alone.
I'll bet you sleep talk only swear words.
No,
this is James sleeping. Bitch, fucking.
No,
fuck.
Yeah. When I talk along to a song on the radio, I replace the bad words with safe ones.
N-word. Bitch, cunt, fuck, shit.
I know I'm broken.
Hank. Sorry, that was my impression of James sleeping. The Whipped Hounds with their apology.
Okay, so this is Pettifer, right?
Pettifer, right here.
He is basically the wrangler of assassins for the East India Company. He comes in to inform Mr. Strange that our assassin that we hired, Mr. Silvertooth, has been dispatched. Delaney has killed him. I'm sorry.
Yes. Of course, though, Mr. Strange already knew this, right? He's like, yep, I knew it.
And he says, and I have something even more interesting to show you.
Read this, right? This is the last will and testament of me, James. Hey, it's like you, James.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck? What? In the possession and event of my death and loan, all my land will be in severalty. Do you know that word? Severalty?
Man, I know perpetuity.
Is that word based on several or severe?
I would think, I don't know.
I know perpetuity.
Yeah. Do you know, I know in.
I know in and. I bet it's related to severe, like severe, like
could be
just because it's several.
It's either a legalese term or it's an antiquated term.
Yeah. As all language eventually becomes antiquated, I guess. So to the sovereign nation of the United States of America. So he basically protects himself with this.
Yeah. He basically cast a shield of protection
Yeah.
spell.
Yes. Yeah. By if he gives his stuff to his land to the Americans, the British won't kill him, nor will the East India Company kill him.
Well, the East India Company is also British people.
Well, I'm saying,
I think
but
you meant the East
there's-
India or the Crown.
There's three parties. The Crown. Yeah, that's what I
And
meant.
he happens to be living in England, so his most dangerous threat is the East India Company and the Crown.
Yeah.
But now he's traded those enemies for the Americans, who are much fewer and less of a risk to him.
Right.
Plus, he has the protection of the East India Company and the Crown because they have it in good interest to keep him alive.
Yes, right, because they don't want it to end up in the Americans' hands. It's nice that they all just honor all this paperwork. Why don't you just erase the fucking paperwork?
I mean, he was
pull a Cersei Lannister.
They
do
mention
really?
that though. They say that during the time after the war is done and peace is done, the borders will not be drawn by soldiers. They'll be drawn by a group of effing lawyers.
Ah, damn it! I thought you were gonna do it.
And he says that at that point, any sort of legal precedence that has been established in the form of document will be brought forth and used to establish the new borders.
Yes.
So what he does now in terms of legalese is very, very important.
Yeah, totally. I'm just saying, I'm remarking on like money is similar. Like it's only a thing because we all agree to honor this intangible commitment, which is a contract or money.
You
Like
would think they'd have no intention in honoring it for the Americans because they hate the Americans. They're at war.
Yeah,
It's
but without contract and without some sort of predictable enforcements, you can't have a society. I mean, that's what justice means, and we're still not there yet. But this was interesting too. I thought so he's like drawing. Of course, the camera, everything was timed out perfectly. That he was sketching borders on a map just when the guy came in. A little too convenient, but whatever. It's the James. Does that say kink?
The James Delaney.
I mean, it's a weird K if it says kink, but IN.
I mean, it could be. I mean, it means
maybe he's kinky.
Well, I mean,
are you kinky? I'm kinky. I like to be kinky.
My favorite means like problem.
My favorite kink is naked women who want to have sex with me. It's my probably my only one. Yeah, the ink things. I don't know. Well, let us know in the comments. So this disaster by killing Delaney is now in our urgent to keep him alive. Yeah, so they're like they got bested by him because he's using the legal system.
I think he says now we know the savage boy is cunning too.
Yeah, cunning. Yeah, exactly. And a man called... So what is this dialogue here? Do you
Well, what he wants is he demands to see Solomon Coop.
Okay.
Because he wants to talk to the representative, the secretary of the crown.
Okay, right. Oh, and Coop is the white guy.
Yes, because there's not many of them.
The guy talking to the monster king.
Yeah, so he basically wants to find common ground because the East India and the crown are no friends of each other.
Right. But they're rivals, basically.
Right, and he wants to make sure that the crown's not going to cut a deal with James Delaney and undercut his efforts or go to the Americans. So he wants to combine forces and find solidarity with them in order to fight the greater threat, who's James Delaney.
Right. Thank you very much, man. These would be undoable without you here, James. It would just be me talking about my farts and my dicks.
So you got more than one?
Oh fuck, my secret's out. Oh man. Why do you think I wear a bra? Because my second penis is in the middle of my chest. I look like Gonzo with my shirt off. It's like it's like those cats with no hair. That's like Gonzo's nose on my, but it's a penis coming out of my chest. It's gonna be on the internet. So here's the carpenter doing his thing, and James, look, a ghost. Did you see him the first time? I didn't see this ghost.
Yeah, I was looking for ghosts.
No,
I'm sure there's got to be one somewhere in here, but...
I hope we see one. I didn't see these. So this is a guard, though, right? I mean, he's got some goons, because I think someone mentioned something earlier.
Yeah, that is not going to be too useful, because by the time 2 a.m. rolls around, he'll be too distracted by the
horrors.
Women of ill repute.
Women of ill repute. I think they got great reputes, personally. And look at all this food. Bread, eggs, meat. What is this, me? That's how I eat. I eat like a... Well, I don't. I'm really dying inside. Brace, what do I do with the rotten dogs with Atticus brings? There's only a sickly youth on the doorstep. So Brace, I like that he's just marching around in a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, it's his house.
Yeah, it's his house. He's not supposed to be all dressed up. Look at this fucked up couch.
That is a ratty couch.
That is nasty. Not a good place for healing when you have open wounds.
Yeah, that's like something you've seen in an abandoned house like 50 years after.
Looks like something like a couch one of my friends would own.
Like dead birds between the cushions.
Probably. Exactly. And nobody, see, there he goes, distracted by... Who was?
Yes.
James can't say that word either. What a dignified man you are, James. So, but they're basically, so he just explains, like, don't worry so much. I did this thing with the Liga, the lesser two adversaries. So they're talking about the deal he just pulled.
Basically they're kind of connecting the dots for us had we not already connected them ourselves. But then he says, I'm going to go search the cellar. He says, I've searched everywhere in this house, but I've not searched the cellar, so I better go down there before the tide comes in.
And I didn't recall that this was flooded. You did, though.
I do recall, I think it was from the first episode, when he first goes into the house after coming back to town, he goes to the cellar, and I think he goes in through the water.
I'm not questioning it. I just didn't realize that had been a thing that they'd already made clear.
Hadn't seen this episode yet.
Yeah.
So
and then this flash here. So he's starting to go into his sort of mental zone where he's having these memories and stuff. And there's a fucked up. That's scary. And
that's the woman in the black feather dress that we've seen.
Yeah.
I've speculated before might be Salish, his mother.
Yes, that does seem to be of the Nuka. Yeah. So that's there you go. That's all right. That's not disturbing at all. And but he's finding stuff, and he hears a voice. Hello,
not just stuff. What do we find? It is the black feather dress.
Oh, he finds her dress.
Yeah.
Do I have any shots of that?
He was just holding it right there. He's looking at it. Oh. And he holds it up a little bit, and you can kind of see it.
All right. So everybody, just imagine a bunch of feathers. And
you didn't get him putting it on and dancing?
I missed that part.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I passed out in the bathroom. So there he goes, and then there's somebody down here, and it turns out to be Winter. She's came.
Now, do you think she's supernatural? Do you think she's a figment of his imagination? Is she real? Because she disappeared off the boat, and then she just reappeared here.
Oh, yeah. It is weird that she'd be in his house. Because she even says, she says, I saw you do for the Malay.
But she physically brings
like a wolf
him
toward his heart. And she says she's been sleeping there. Yeah, what does she bring him? Oh, she brings
silver tooth.
She brings him the tooth, right? Yeah.
So it seems like she is real, but it seems she's
and she's kind of an old soul. She sort of has like a poetic way of speaking.
Yeah, and I know that he confronted the woman, the prostitute woman at the docks, saying that he believes that is her daughter, but she never acknowledged it or confirmed it.
Yeah, yeah, and then but she did interact with the kids at the.
Are they real?
Maybe not.
Ghost kids?
Yeah, maybe that's why that kid was dressed up like it was fucking cosplay for creeps.
Maybe, I think there's more. Maybe she's probably real, but I think there's a lot we need to learn about her.
Yes, that's a good way to say that. And she's, we don't know who her father is. Yeah. So,
but she does ask him, perfect timing again. She wants to learn about magic.
Yeah, so she thinks he's got some tricks, but she did give him the silver tooth, by the way. But he closed her hand. He's like, no.
Yeah, and he says, all my cards got ruined in the cellar when it flooded, so I can't really tell you about Magic the Gathering.
I was wondering where you're going with that. Yeah. Magic the Gathering. Okay. The bird on your neck and the Sankofa. Is that maybe the name of the tattoo?
That's the type of couch he has upstairs. Yeah. The Sankofa.
Yeah. It converts into a sang couch.
Yeah.
I can't. That didn't work.
Yeah, but she knows what it is. It's the symbol that's on the back of his neck.
The scar, though.
We find out more about what it is a little bit later, but we don't find out just yet.
Yeah. Right. So, where does he leave it with her, though? Does he let her? He kind of.
Yeah, he says it's dangerous here for you. You should go.
Yeah.
And then he leaves her. But we never see her emerge or walk out or interact with anyone else.
I mean, didn't they have mold problems all the time in this place? Everything was wet and gross and not cleaned up.
I think she's a ghost.
You think is that your theory, huh?
You don't see her interact with anyone but him.
I get you. No, I'm hearing you. She might be Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
She might be this Taboo's Bruce Willis.
She's the ghost in the episode.
She is the ghost in the.
And he didn't seem too eager to put pants on when he saw her.
He didn't go, ooh, no. But he's got a long enough of a dress on. He's fine. Yeah. So he comes in. And he said, "There he is." That is how I wander around the house too. I just stagger around without wearing any underwear.
So this scene confirms something that I had wrong in my head up until the very moment, because I thought this.
He busts into his mom's old
room,
dressing room,
and what I thought was when he was talking to Brace in the first episode and referring to the communications he had through the fires with his father from the shore from Africa. He talked about is that people always told me my mother was Anne, but I knew that wasn't true. I know my true mother is Salish.
Yeah.
But I thought this Anne woman and Salish were two different people. But what he really meant was Anne's true name is Salish.
Okay, yeah.
And that my father bought him in Africa, or bought her in Africa from the Nuka tribe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, Nuka tribe's not African. Is it?
No. I don't. Well, Nuka sound? No.
That's by Vancouver. Which is
that's
the opposite.
You're right, absolutely.
But maybe they could have named it Nuka based on an African word. That's possible.
Maybe, yeah, but you're right. He did go to Africa, but Nuka was not obviously not. Yeah,
yeah. It's all good. No problem.
Geography is not my strong suit.
Clearly, go back to Canada. James is not. Okay, so a bunch of old dead flowers, some candles, a bunch of lady shit. You got a mirror thing probably there or something. This is a kind of a perfume maybe, or some sort of alcohol. Probably perfume, I would bet. You dab it on your neck, you dab it in your other neck, and then you go out there and you get some. So he's just kind of going through his stuff. He finds all this powdery. He likes to paint himself. He's one of those. You know, this is all makeup and shit. Women have makeup. I think women's makeup, I don't know. It's kind of gross, you know. You kiss them or something, and you're like, ugh, what the fuck? But I don't think it's all poison. I think in the past they used a lot of poison. Like they didn't realize it was toxic, like lead and arsenic. In the TV show Rome on HBO, there's a scene where these wealthier women are, like, the daughter's putting on makeup, getting ready for it, and the mother goes, more arsenic, darling, or something like that. Of course, they all had British accents back in Roman times. But my point is, these people were probably just poisoning themselves constantly. Not British specifically, 1800s.
Well, I mean, like in France and everything, perfume was popular because if you didn't bathe, that was the only way to mask odor.
Well, that's why I'll skip a shower and slack on a bunch of my Old Spice High Endurance Red Zone Aqua Reef. Fuck yeah, all day long. That stuff is powerful. I've been complimented for my odor, and I'm like, I don't even wear perfume. I wear fucking deodorant.
Nice.
So then he has a couple of these flash. Maybe he's tripping. Maybe this is just...
I'm wondering here, though, because he kind of goes... Throughout this episode, it seems like he's emulating things she's doing. So I'm wondering if he's doing a ceremony here where he's communing with her. Either that is Salish and that is his mother, which I believe it is.
Yeah.
So he's communing with her beyond the realm of death.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand...
Hey, who's putting me in a vignette?
What I don't understand is, like, video game logic. The first thing you do is put a bomb in front of that. There's clearly treasure in the fireplace.
The door. You're saying this video game logic?
Yes.
You'd recognize a weak spot.
And then it would open and it would go...
And a heart comes out.
Or it might be some bats, but you swipe them with your boomerang, and then you're good.
You trap a butterfly in a jar, and it just goes into your inventory. He does have some shells here. He's doing something. They're laid out.
Oh, that's from Demolition Man. This three shells.
3 shells. Yeah, Ghost in the Shells. I know that.
They wipe their butts with the shells.
In Demolition Man?
Yeah.
The prequel to the spiritual predecessor to Judge Dredd?
Yeah, because he comes in and he's in the future and he goes to the bathroom and there's no toilet paper and he goes, where's the toilet paper? There's nothing but 3 shells there. And everyone laughs and he goes, he doesn't know how to use the 3 shells. So he goes up to the thing on the wall and starts cursing at this box on the wall and goes, you have been fined for a language infraction. And he pulls all the papers out and goes and wipes his butt with the tickets.
Well, that explains why you don't swear.
Yeah.
You probably wiped your ass with shells once and you swore, and it was just so traumatizing that you can't ever do it again. James has shell-shaped scars, all right, around his booty hole.
Called shell shock.
Shell shock, thank you. I never think there's shells. That's so not realistic.
If you ever Google how to use the 3 shells, you'll find some very hideous interpretations that people will come up with.
I remember in school once this kid goes, "Hey, I just want to hear something that's gross," because he heard a rumor about a girl, and she was like one of the hot girls. He goes, "I hear she shits and then she showers right afterwards. That's disgusting."
How was that?
And I remember thinking,
that's like the ultimate cleanliness.
No, that's like a whole body bidet. Like, you idiot. We're gross. We smeared up our taint.
Well, okay, it would be bad if you took a bath after doing that, but you're not sitting in it.
Yeah, you shower. That's like the ultimate cleanliness.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting way about, he was one of the cool kids too, like how like people can impose their norms on you, even though it's like, no, dumbass, we're the savages for just wiping it. All right, let's keep pushing, guys.
I think we should talk about poop longer.
It's my favorite topic. Honestly, it's because it's so funny. Okay, so this is where he realizes something going on. But the perfume, that's his mom. That's probably an odor he really recognizes.
Or maybe that's part of how he is communicating with her. Maybe he needed something that had a connection to her.
And smell is very powerfully connected to our memories. They're located in similar spots in the brain, so like it kind of, when your smell is activated, your memory is also activated quite a bit. So, of course, this is how everybody remembers their own mother.
Yeah, I mean, clearly this is a scene from Avatar.
She's dressed up like she's on her way to a Jon Snow convention. So he breaks apart the boards just as James would have done right away. Although James would have used a video game bomb, and then he blows some ashes and stuff. And so, what does he see?
He sees a carving.
It's
not just any carving.
The Satadoka carving. The Shatoka.
Sentoka.
The Santoka Mecca Lecca Hi Mecca Hiney Ho. It is, but it's the same thing on his back.
Yeah.
And so this is did she carve this? Did some worker? Probably her.
Yeah, but
or his dad maybe.
One thing we should mention though is that
kooky family.
when he picks up the ashes in his hands and blows it against the wall to reveal that, it's juxtaposed with her doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So it's almost like she's guiding him in what to do. She wants to show him something.
Yes.
And she's telling him a story that he's understanding, but we're not hearing it right now.
Oh, it could be it. Yeah.
No, she is.
Yeah. Oh, I mean that's literally.
Yeah.
It. Sorry, Jesus, James.
Because he confronts Brace with what she tells him.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And there's obviously something ritualistic about flames and ashes and smoke and painting yourself and all that other stuff. And sort of, he gets some ashes on his head when he leans in there. I remember that happened.
And he doesn't bathe, so that's going to
be... this is him clean. This is him all worked. Look at this guy. This is pretty much, this is me at church. This is just me going, when is this going to be over? As if I go to church. But he doesn't. There's not a lot of Clint.
See what I wrote right there?
What needs a bath badly? Is what James wrote right there. Thank you. Is that about me or
yes,
the show?
No.
James is just writing about me. No wonder you're typing so much. Smelly, needs a bath. Wish he would shut up. Keeps farting. I paid for this couch. He's ruining my couch.
I only detected one couch vibration.
Have you ever felt my farts?
I felt some powerful
You're
tremors.
So nice. Why don't you yell at me?
Sometimes the cushion rises up on my side from the force of yours.
Like when two kids in one of those air houses or whatever the fuck they're called. All right, so then Dr. Breaking Bad comes in and says, I'm gonna need a bath.
Yeah, he says, when was my mother last in this room?
Right.
And he says, and who put that mark?
That mark.
How long has it been there? Who put it there?
Right.
And what does it mean?
He goes, sir, you're gonna need a lot of deodorant to cover up all that soot on your face. What does he explain to him though?
So he basically he's confronting him with something he learned from his talk with his mom just then, saying, you kept her locked up in this room in later days. You said she was mad. You didn't let her, show her face to the public. You kept her captive. And why did you carve that thing into the fireplace? Because he knows what he doesn't know what it means.
Yeah.
He says that he got his when he was taken prisoner in Africa.
Right.
Which makes us think that when he was on that slaver ship and it sunk, perhaps he was a slave.
Then he shows it to him.
Yeah.
Ugh. Looks like a bunch of worms having a meeting. And so there's obviously a lot of questions. So his mother wasn't an English woman. I just assumed she was.
No, she was from a tribe, the Nuka tribe.
Yeah. Right? Oh, maybe they've named it Nuka. Maybe he... Okay, all right, I don't know. I mean, the dad bought it without a name, and then his dad gave it the name Nuka.
And he said something very foreboding to him.
Okay.
He said, you don't speak, but you do have answers. You do.
Oh, yeah.
And you will give me answers.
Right, yeah. It's like, and then he touches...
he mind melds with him.
Yeah. He turns into Tuvok. And, he leaves a mark on his forehead. I didn't have a good shot. You can see the red.
Yeah, he still had a little bit of his mom's red blush or whatever.
Red powder or whatever, the lipstick or something. That's a good way. That's how I like to end conversations with people. I tap them on the head with the gross red fingerprint, and I wear a pinky ring, and then James buys me a taco. All right, well, okay, I don't know, that went okay. Oh, and then we got some screaming and another scary face lady in the water, haunting and freaky.
Yeah, it's almost like she's yelling in victory or laughter or joy that he's finally confronted someone about her capture.
So you think she's really connected to what's happening in his room? Okay.
Yes.
See, I don't know
because she obviously just told him some stuff.
I don't think she would be laughing. I mean, I hear you.
Well, she doesn't look like she's got her wits about her.
Yeah, no, she doesn't seem too sane. Anybody who stands around in the fucking jungle mud or the waist high water is what I mean. Is nutty because there's crabs in there. There's bugs, leeches. But I think that there's some sort of ritualistic body painting thing that because he's into that, right? That he learned or picked up from her or during his travels, and that this is sort of a memory of a traumatic event for him because he's haunted by her loss. But the notion that she's communicating and reacting to whatever's going on in his day and what he's doing might be true.
Yeah, it seems too much on the nose that she's mirroring his.
Is she though? Maybe. I'm not disagreeing. I mean, that's an interesting way to look at the show. I think it's cool. I like your angle, James, even though I think it's fucking bullshit. So then we get to Bethlehem. Bethlehem. Oh, look. This is like Gotham, Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
This is like, so now this poor person. I don't know.
I've said this before, but if you were that extra, you'd be freezing it for your fam. Like, I am!
Yeah. Hey, look, it's me. It's me. I played the crazy girl. They put on a wig and everything. It was awesome. I got to ride around in a carriage. And then, they're at some sort of cemetery outside of a sign. I mean, it looks like a prison or a walled-off place because the windows are shitty.
It's like a pauper cemetery for heathens, pagans, and suicides.
Yeah, and they said for suicide, the damned or the curse to the suicide or something like that, which seems wrong. I mean, not that pagans deserve it or whatever, but it's just.
But there's raises the question though, because the tomb you see is Anna Delaney
right there,
and below it says Salish.
So
but
her.
That why in the world would his father, James Delaney, a wealthy man of influence, allow his wife to be buried outside of an insane asylum if she was not put into the insane asylum first? Bedlam.
Right. Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
Yeah.
I thought you said Bedlam. Can you go back one?
Yeah. I'll bet you $100,000.
I bet.
Wait. What?
Go forward. No, go forward. I said he said Bedlam.
Oh, the name is Bedlam.
100,000, please.
This says Bethlehem.
I want to talk about that.
All right, we'll split it 50-50. I'll
right.
give you 50,000. You give me 50,000.
Deal.
All right, perfect.
But so that mean that he?
Yeah, that's a good point.
He put her in that institution, or did she commit suicide for being kept in captivity?
Which is why I would have mentioned the suicide thing.
Yeah,
because she's a heathen.
Yeah,
I mean,
pagan,
or whatever the fuck those even mean. But she's not like an ordered, well-bred British lady. She's doing some weird ceremony shit. And these people were so racist and stuff. They looked at anybody that was slightly different than them and they called them a fucking monster. I mean, not that we're much different nowadays.
I heard that all her friends...
People highlighted... They weren't afraid to highlight their obvious differances back then in the same kind of like... look at him. He's brown. Therefore, he must be a cannibal. Get him or hire him or something. I don't know. I mean, this is a fucked up planet.
Yeah, so this scene was really short. No real dialogue after that. And it just basically introduces more questions for us.
Yeah, but so the father and the mother, though, weren't in... Or maybe she killed herself after he was... No, he died in...
Well, it makes sense because it said in her later years she was drawn to madness.
Yeah.
Which would make sense that they would commit her.
Right.
And she would die in there.
Yeah, and being that she's not a natural British citizen or whatever, I'm sure she probably wasn't accorded the same kind of respect that society would have insisted on or something like that.
I mean, her husband abandoned her and left her to rest in this undignified state.
Could be that, yeah. We'll find out more. We're just mostly speculating. So this guy's putting in a cigarette lighter into something. I don't know what that is, but what is that anyway?
That's Godfrey.
Godfrey, this guy. Private Secretary to His Majesty King George.
So this is the meeting between Sir Stuart Strange and what's his name? Coop. What's his first name though?
Professor.
Professor Coop. I believe it's Chicken.
Yeah, Chicken.
Yeah.
Shoop a doop.
Yeah.
Coop. I don't. Yeah. Anyway, somebody said it earlier. Whatever. Yeah. So go ahead.
So they meet together, and their whole point is that.
Lewis and Clark claim. Wow, this is that's some historical shit. Go ahead.
So Strange is trying to basically say, I have some information I want to share with you. And Coop is like, oh, please, I know everything. You may have 102 spies, but I have 202. I know everything. You insult me by assuming that I don't know what you already know.
Right.
So he says, I already know because Delaney already sent me a letter offering a deal with me that if I give him a monopoly on trade routes to China, then he will have no problem declaring Nootka Sound as British territory.
Yeah.
And the East India is guy, Dr. Strange, I keep calling him Dr. Strange, Mr. Stuart Strange, freaks out saying you would honestly, you would, deal behind my back. You would, do stuff that I don't like.
Yeah.
Basically that. Yeah.
Yeah. You should be calling these shots, pal. This is my.
Yeah.
They're basically having a territory pissing match. Who gets to be in charge?
Exactly.
But I thought it was interesting too that this guy, while he's doing it, he's snorting something.
Yeah, I don't quite know what type of.
Some sort of modification. This sort of thing is, in my view, no different than taking a sip of whiskey or something. You know what I mean? It's like a drink is a drug. I mean, we've got this weird morality that our society trains us to inject into the decision to do a drug or to take something. But there was most of history where that wasn't really the way it was. I mean, certainly things probably went askew in lots of different ways with various behaviors and substances, no doubt. But the morality that we've gotten our version of it now as modern people is so primitive and stupid and disruptive.
I just don't think it's natural to put something up your nose.
Why is that? No, I'm saying to modify our consciousness is extremely natural. Yeah. That's what people do. And I get it. I hear, yeah, but it's why is that any natural than taking a sip of something? There's no difference is what I'm saying. I'm just saying like it's interesting that like he could just casually think of like a guy in a boardroom meeting just suddenly taking out a pinch of Coke, snorting it up his nose. Yeah. I've never had cocaine. I've seen people do it, and one time I touched it with my finger and then licked it to see how cops do that to see if it makes your tongue go numb, and my tongue went a little bit numb. But it was barely any.
You heathen! I'm gonna bury you in a pauper's grave for that.
I was like, oh, let me try it. Oh yeah, the tongue's here. My point is, we impose random nonsense, meaning shame and morality, on things that aren't on their own immoral, which is doing a drug. That's what I'm saying. There's not a morality factor there. There's a health factor in if it becomes unbalanced, but you could say that about lots of stuff, and there's also nothing wrong with making a mistake.
Like watching anime.
I'm just saying it's not. Yeah, like watching manga, whatever the fuck that is. Manga. I'm just saying it's interesting to me that I like that they included this detail in this shot because it's cool.
And they're rich old white dudes.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. There's no even if it was illegal, they're not going to be in trouble. But not that it is. That's my point. So to be incorporated into the territory of the British Crown, and so they're talking about the Nootka Sound thing, but only we give them an monopoly on trade and smoke. So this is what they're talking about.
And that's the whole thing, because the East India Company, their whole business is trade.
Yeah.
And if they give him, if the Crown does a deal with him to get exclusivity on the trade, then he's undercutting the East India, and East India is furious about that. You will allow the savage to determine things?
Yeah.
So at this point, they do not have common ground. So what Stuart Strange says is... you should understand that Delaney will just as easily sell Nootka to the Americans as easily as he'll sell it to you in exchange for the same monopoly.
Right.
So Coop looks to him and says, well, I guess this is our common cause then.
Yeah. So they kind of do come together there, right?
Yeah.
Like that's at the end of that scene. I'm just looking at this map because I'm trying to figure out if this is the border, because the American border with Canada is a very straight line that cuts across from like Minnesota area all the way over to Vancouver. I'm just trying to figure out if, that looks like Lake Superior. Duluth and Superior should be, if that's Lake Superior, this would be Wisconsin. Because this is right about where the straight line begins, is somewhere in Minnesota, I think. Oh yeah, Mississippi. See, there's the clue I was looking for, James. Hey. Look, I'm like a modern Sherlock. Yeah, so they are. This is Minnesota, because the Mississippi River starts somewhere in Minnesota. It starts with a leak. All right, sorry, I'm getting distracted. We've wasted too much time.
So the last thing they say is that Coop mentions the widower. Is it Lena?
Widow, not widower. Widower is a man whose wife dies. I'll be a widower when you die.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that would mean you're my wife. Oh boy.
Anyway,
I'm gonna have to talk to my lawyer.
The last thing they say is this line right here, because Stuart Strange is going on and Coop interrupts him and says, why does Delaney hate the East India Company so much? What the heck did you do to him?
Yeah. Oh, you asking me?
No, he asked that to not just.
What's his grudge against the East India Company? Yeah, you guys must have pissed him off.
Yeah, what is so horrible that you could have done to him that he would have no loyalty to you whatsoever?
Yeah. Do we know that answer?
Well, they tried to kill him a bunch of times.
Well, there's that already, but like even earlier, he showed up kind of with sort of a chip on.
We don't know.
I think it's related to the slave trading thing because he seems to have brotherhood with the victims of that.
And he served with Strange as his commander when he was in the whatever that scout thing was.
That's right. Maybe there's some old history, maybe an old grudge or something. My spies tell me. There's the widow. Yeah.
He's talking about Spider.
Yeah. Widow. Why don't I call it a widowee? Like trainee, trainer. Okay, fine. So then we got a lady crying. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I didn't know what was going on here. I was like, wow, the queen. No, it's an actress. She's playing, and she's doing some Shakespeare here, and she's reading, I think, Shakespeare, because she eventually says it. I'm very ignorant and stupid. I couldn't handle Shakespeare in college or high school or whatever the fuck they told me to read that shit. And what happens? They're into it, and the crowd is starting to jeer out. And
Coop is watching. He's just
Coop is there. Yeah, this is him. He's checking out because this is the widow. This is their new angle of attack. She's obviously makes this negotiation process much more complicated, but it's an opening for them. But I thought it was interesting too, the way that she kind of she's yelling or she's doing her thing, but the audience is sort of interacting like they're at a WWE event. Like they're sort of just yelling and jeering and responding to stuff, and like it just shows like these are their like dumb people would go to Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's like the peanut gallery.
Like original Shakespeare play at the Globe was the name of the theater, and but those were like rowdy those were rowdy events.
Yeah, it's like a carnival for the fools.
Yeah, but the language and the writing is so fucking beautiful, and brilliant. I mean, I'm obviously
and this is like an ArcLight Cinemas usher who comes up and goes, oh, "Excuse me, sir, can I get you a young boy?"
Yeah, she offers to let him have sex with everybody. She's like, "You want a girl? Do you want?" She's like, "The girls in the choir are this much. The girls on stage are this much. You can have boys too." The unfortunate lady whose father was somehow... And so he says he wants her.
But this is important. He gets very valuable information here.
Yeah, okay.
And this comes up later.
All right, go ahead.
That he knows that she is off limits. She'll never agree to being bought for illicit means.
Yes. And then... Yeah, well, that's what he learns.
Yes.
Yes, right. She can't be... Yeah, but she did marry an old man her way far over her age. So she just played her hand with someone that she knew was going to... Not, instead of just having some fat fucker sweat all over her for 2 hours, she had to marry a rich guy and then he died. So she played it smarter.
Yeah, so basically he gives her a letter to deliver directly to her under penalty of execution.
Oh, right. I guess that's how that works. That's how, when I tell you to send my emails or I'll kill you. Okay, we cut to, this whole scene was pretty wacky. We're in some sort of debaucherous fuckfest house. James, say what I just said.
House.
Damn. This lady's like rubbing
that
lobster.
Ain't no lady.
That's not a lady?
It's no lady.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
It's not a house where you'll find ladies.
No lady? I thought some of them were ladies.
I don't think so. I think these are men who enjoy the company of other men.
Okay, well that's cool
in private,
too.
So...
But they dress up with like wigs and makeup and stuff. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But she's got lobster. Look, there's another one.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so hungry.
That was the original Red Lobster.
I would love Red Lobster's my favorite. I want to have my wedding ceremony at Red Lobster. Those onion rolls.
Never been.
They're not even onion rolls. Those buttery fucking. You've never been there?
I don't eat seafood.
Holy
hate seafood.
Shit! Well, you can get like shrimp and stuff. You don't have to just.
The seafood is freaking shrimp. Shrimp are cockroaches of the sea. It's disgusting.
Oh boy, it touched a nerve.
The smell of them is just disgusting. I'm gonna be sick now. Thank you.
What were you raised in bikini bottoms?
My dad was a fisherman.
With SpongeBob?
I can't.
No wonder.
Ugh.
All right. Well, boy, don't...
bug eaters.
James tells me to put on his dad's coat, and then he starts sharpening a knife. I'm like, oh, boy, James, you got some issues. All right, yeah, so anyway, Pleasure House. There are a lot of... I mean, you can just tell. Whenever there's a hand around an ankle and the ankle's in the air, good things are happening.
Yeah. Can you just imagine how much worse these scenes would be if this was an HBO?
Oh yeah, you have no idea, dude. Watching like Westworld compared to this, and I'm just like, oh, and then like, oh no, I don't have to block out this stuff. Yeah, it is. I should actually block out this ukulele or this yurt. What are they called? Yurt's a big tent. Loot. Thank you. Yurt is a weird tent.
Yes, it is.
Alaskan. Something. Okay, so we got some kissing.
One could say he has the best loot.
The best loot. They're all going after each other's loot here, and we see this guy says, "I'm already spoken for," right? Mm-hmm. But he comes in and he's looking around, and then he recognizes him though.
Yes,
Does that face look familiar? Because it didn't look familiar to me until James noticed it, because James pays closer attention than I do. And
that is little Godfrey.
Yes, that's a different one.
Yes, the secretary of Yellow Heart.
Yeah, heart. That's just like the tattooed by my groin.
Yeah, he's the secretary of the East India Company. He's the guy in the back who's taking meeting notes.
We've seen him in the office with the Strange and other guys. Groans and groans. Oh, this guy's getting spanked there. And somebody going, whoosh, whoosh, take that, pale British booty. Do men have booties? Yeah, I guess they do in kind of a cute way. Is that a fake mole, you think, James? I bet it is. Either that or he walked into a pencil.
Yeah, so at this point, I think he's making a very humble attempt to try and conceal Godfrey. I think he's saying, I'm already spoken for, sir, in the hopes that James Delaney will not recognize him.
Yeah, he's kind of panicking, though, because this is trouble for him.
Yeah, but he calls him by like a nickname, which just, he's like, oh, crap, now you can blackmail me. You know a secret.
Right. Like, his only two options are to go along with the blackmail or try to hurt him.
Yeah,
those are your options, and so he's going to go along, basically.
Or just say, I have no idea where this clothes came from. I woke up like this.
Oh, I fell into this. Oh, sorry. Oh, geez, is that jizz in my hair? Oh no. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I went too far. So anyway, he sort of takes it. He's like, oh, fuck. And so he basically says, no, now you work for me. I'm going to pay you, and you're going to give me information. And
And the short story is he says that Delaney used to know him because he was in the army with him, or the equivalent of the army.
Yeah.
And that they were friends, they were colleagues, but he admits that he was in love with him back then, and that he had to sleep in the same bed with him, and it was exquisite torture for him, and all that kind of crap. But essentially, the relationship is Delaney is his friend. He has no intention on harming him or blackmailing him, but he does use that to hold over his head to say, I need information. You're on the inside. You're going to report back to me everything that happens at the East India Company. I'll pay you £1 per month. Your job starts today.
Everything you said makes sense, except he does have an intention to blackmail him because he blackmails him.
No, but he's still his friend. He says, because basically he says, if I tell you anything and they find out I'm a dead man, he goes, no, we're still friends. I will protect you.
Yeah. So
it's a forced blackmail. At the same time, it's a friendly blackmail.
Okay, so let me sum that up with one word: persuasion. He knows how to persuade him because he uses their friendship to persuade him to behave in the way he wants. But he also blackmails him because he can reveal the secret about him that would get him in major trouble with his stuffed shirt assholes that he works with.
And what's the first question he asks them?
I'm a little bit drunk. Wait, what?
He asked him. He says basically, has this East India and the Crown found common cause yet?
Oh, okay. And
I think he slaps him.
Yeah. So that's what he tells him there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he slap him there?
I think he does. Oh. And he says, I'm a little drunk for the job right now.
Oh, right. All right.
And this whole next scene, I'm going to take the back seat too. You're going to do this one.
Why?
Because it's just disgusting.
A lot of swearing?
No, it's just this whole back and forth narrating love letter between brother and sister.
Oh, you hated it?
Oh,
you don't like incestual blood?
It was creepy.
They're half sisters or something, so it's totally okay.
Half is half too much.
I would my draw the line at third cousin. I'd bang a fourth cousin. All right, so here we go. I think I'd bang a third cousin if she was like pretty hot. All right. So oh shit, the pressure's on. I am restoring our father's offices. So he's writing a letter. This is all sort of written in the voice of James Keziah Delaney and the woman Zilpha McGreary, right? Or Creary or some shit. And she's married to the ugly Conan O'Brien.
Zika virus.
Zika virus. And they're basically having this, I'm going to fuck this up, James, but they're talking back and forth a little bit. I thought that was interesting as a filmmaker, though, or as a filmmaking
But it was like they were talking technique. Directly to each other the way they presented it. And
I like
it was a little
that.
hokey.
But it also passed time. It sort of showed that time. So they're showing like preparations. He's sort of fixing up his little shop here and getting his papers and his rolls of shit.
But he does say something interesting about, when the time comes and the company falls, all of the pieces will be in place. So
he's reassuring her, though, right?
Yeah, I think he has no intention of staying in England for too long.
It doesn't seem like that. Right. So all these words we're seeing, and again, I don't remember, are him writing to her, and then she writes back.
No, she said that one.
Oh, this is her talk.
Yes.
She's a little confused.
Yes.
So this whole exchange, gosh, I am so bad at this. Now it's her. See, Zilpha? She explains to him that you're leaving England was the click of a hip. I don't know. I woke from a trance and realized the depth. So that reveals a little bit.
Yeah, well, we already kind of knew that.
Yeah, we already knew that, but it sort of confirms that they'd banged and had some intense moments.
She takes the high road. I found forgiveness in God. Then he writes back, your morality was never a problem before.
Right. Yes. Wow, see, James, you're getting way ahead of me. You shouldn't have turned this over to me because I'm fucking it up real bad and slowing everything down. And you can see, by the way, so now he's talking about...
Get rid of your husband.
Yeah, but that's her talking here, right? You can see by that...
No, that's he's saying that to her.
Oh,
by the way, your husband follows you.
Oh, okay. But why does the next shot have his name? See, this is why the subtitles trip me up because my brain doesn't work with where I remember what's not in the subtitles. I kind of remember the emotion of the scenes, but more I don't remember the details.
He's saying basically your relationship with your husband has already come to pass. You should let him go. Poor soul. Be with me. That kind of crap.
Right. So so things are underway. There's enough treachery already surrounding us. My husband is harsh. Oh yeah, she says that like him contacting her is creating problems for her.
Your letters do not come delivered unnoticed.
Yes, and so she does see it, and it's probably pretty. This is a very romantic courtship.
She does say something pretty terrible about like he references that her husband is cruel to her, that beats her. He goes, as a Christian, I welcome it and I deserve it.
Yes,
it's like holy crap.
Yeah, that was Christian, she said. And this right here, these couple of lines here, he's basically saying, we don't need to be so fucking worked up about this shit, right? I mean, that's kind of my attitude. But I just think we're all just burdened by our idiotic cultures.
So you see what he means by that?
we used to talk to each other without words in dark corners. We used to just whisper to each other.
They're
without,
texting.
Without texting.
Shadow puppets.
They play. James likes to play words with friends, but these guys plays words in dark corners. Secrets. Okay, so it could never be tethered by base. James, you got to help me. I'm fucking. I mean, I'll do it the way I know it, but
okay.
So they want to fuck, and this is them having this.
So yeah, the short story is like, a back and forth.
No. Let me finish. You know when two horny snakes are about to have sex? No, let's go with pelicans. Two big pelicans are smacking their beaks together because they're about to fuck. You know, in the documentaries, and they go like this. It sounds like this. And then like 3 months later, some pelican babies come out of one of their egg holes. That's what they're doing. They're courting. This is animal behavior. They're tension. James, love and sex is all about tension. Where you look at her from across the room and she looks at you and you just give her that look and you're like, we gotta get out of this party. They're out of guacamole and the hummus is getting crusty. And then you go and you have sex and then you make because you don't want to have to do laundry, so you. All right, okay, where are we?
This is about the time you're going to decide to animate that thing you just did.
I should animate that. You've never seen the birds smack their beaks at each other?
No.
They fucking smack them real hard against each other, and then they have bird sex. Bird sex not as sexy as it sounds.
Okay, so basically, in short, he's saying, I'm going to be with you, you're going to be with me, and she's like, no, I'm going to burn your letters if they come to me, and he's like, well, then I'll meet you in your dreams.
It's forbidden, and that's why it's hot.
Yeah, so that kind of goes back and forth, and then he comes home and finds out that, to much hilarity, Brace is saying, I want to shoot her in the face.
Yeah, shoot her. I didn't get a line of that. Shoot her. Who's he's talking about?
He's talking about Lorna Bow.
Yeah.
Is it Lena or Lorna?
Lorna.
Lorna, okay.
Yeah, like Lorna Michaels, the SNL guy.
Yes. And she has moved in because as being...
So we jumped ahead, though. How did that letter sequence end, though?
It basically ended with her saying that if you continue to send them, let it be known that I will burn them.
Yeah.
And he says, if you burn them, then let it be known that I will visit you in your dreams.
Oh, okay, there you go. See, look at you, man. You're amazing. But I like that sequence. I thought that was well done. I thought it was interesting. A good, simple way to advance the time and develop their relationship a little bit. So, okay. So, right. James is saying Lorna Bow.
She has moved in, much to his displeasure. And Brace is not happy either because one of the first things he says when he sits down and looks at her and he goes, my servant wants to shoot you in the face.
Yeah. And she brought a bird, too, canary.
Yeah. So, technically, she owns half the house legally. And she has all the legal documents, which she hands to him, which he immediately flings into the fire, which is awesome.
Without hesitation. That was such a pimp-ass move, man, where he just like, oh, really? Right into the fire.
Yeah, but she starts talking about stuff. She says things like she knows all about the will that he wrote.
Yep.
She knows all about that the Americans killing him is now his only risk. And he kind of says, well, how do you have all this information? Who's telling you this stuff? And she leaks out that it was a representative directly from the king.
Right. Which is Coop when he came to see her play.
Right, because Coop was the one when he was meeting with Strange who ended the conversation with saying that she could be a valuable asset.
Yes.
So clearly he immediately left that meeting and went to talk to her to get her on his side.
Yes. And now she knows she can claim the house and claim half the sound.
Right. But then she makes a deal with him.
Yeah.
She says, you know what? I have a need for a house, but I do not have need for land across the other side of the world. So how about this? You give me your half of the house becomes mine, and in exchange, I give you my half of Nooka Sound.
Yeah. I'm trying to catch up to that part of the thing. There he goes. Your half of the house I have no interest for. Letters. Okay, so but then, I have a bunch of letters from you and stuff. And...
She says, but I also have letters and things of your father. And as soon as she said that, he started freaking out.
Yeah, he had a strong reaction to that. And he went, rah, rah!
Yeah, and if anywhere a ghost is going to pop up, this is where I'd look for it.
There's a ghost face right there. And... yeah. Oh, you're saying like in the background.
Yeah.
So what do you think that was? I mean, so it's just being reminded of the family and his relationship with his mother and his father, or do you think it's that she might not realize it, but she has the treaty on the deer skin that he's looking for. You think that's what it is?
I think that's one of the things that he's been looking for all along, and he thinks that she might have it. He even thought that she might have it when all he knew of her was her name circled on the back of the pamphlet.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he's going for, but I think there's something more to it even that's triggering him to immediately want to acquiesce to her request, because he's yelling for Brace immediately, talking over top of her, going, get this woman a room.
By the way, you know Brace's last name? For Impact. Were you thinking of something too? When I just said it? Brace. She passed away 30 years ago. That's a reference. That's a pretty random reference. Okay, footsteps. So then Brace comes running in, but he immediately is like, all right, fine, you're staying here. And he almost insists that she stay inside. That's a big part of this, is that she doesn't really comprehend the danger that he does. He's been stabbed. He's had to kill a guy already. He knows how scary this whole thing is.
Yeah,
and she's just sort of like, la la, I get half. And she wants to keep going on being a young, attractive actress with a little bit of money.
Kind of silly, though, that he recently confronted Bray saying, you kept my mother locked up in captivity in this house. I hate you. I'm going to get answers out of you. And now he's like, oh, you're going to stay in this house and you're not going to leave.
That's true.
Like, little hypocrite.
Yeah, I wanted my own victim. You're my captive now.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Yeah. It puts the perfume in the nape of the neck. I don't know. So if you're in kind of the king, you stay here while we work out our business. So yeah, he's basically trying to protect her. Like,
until they can solidify their deal,
yeah,
where he gives up the house in exchange for Nooka Sound, he does not want anyone getting to her, because he wants to protect.
But what's his incentive to save her life?
Well, he says that she's a weakness because people can use her to damage his claim on things.
So it's not like out of the goodness of his heart.
No. He doesn't care about her. He just wants to make sure that she stays alive long enough for him to legally ink the paper that's going to make sure that his deal with her is the way it needs to be.
I don't know. I think he's a good guy, though. I think he might care about her a little bit. Like, I think he would defend her if they tried to kill her or something.
Absolutely, but I think her safety is secondary to his goal.
Yeah, I did like this part. So see the dog? I like that when he walked by the dog. I didn't know the shot of it. No, the dog's back there, but he looked at the dog. He like turned his head and looked at the dog. I just like, that's what people do. We love looking at dogs. Dogs are great. So this is a little meeting with Geary?
Thorne
Geary, otherwise known as Conan O'Brien's ugly younger brother. Sort of, I don't know why. So yeah, he's got the top hat on, and this whole exchange here is he's basically comes in and offers to buy insurance. He's like, I deal with this stuff. I'm an insurance guy, businessman. Yeah. You want to buy insurance, you're going to need your tar. You got to make sure it gets done right. You want to make it it's inspected, otherwise you get salt and worms will come in. And for some reason I remember this stuff. Yep. And this looks like my house. So this is like my room if this was all porn.
Yeah.
And I coil up porn. I get it in big posters and I roll it up in scrolls. I have porn scrolls. They're called Scorn. I don't know why. I'm so tired. I'm so hungry.
Yeah, there was something that he mentioned that I really, really liked. Because he said at the very end, he shut him down and said, actually, I don't need insurance. And as you can see from this, and hands him a document, you can see that I've already owned insurance, and it's signed here by a man named Cope, or something like that. And he goes, and I'm sure you'll recognize my handwriting, or something along the lines of that. As if to imply that, I know you've been reading all the letters mentioning my sister. I know you're aware that we're in love, or I'm in love with her. So
he basically, he didn't literally say that.
No, but he implied it by saying that clearly you'll recognize my handwriting.
Yes, right.
My handwriting.
My handwriting. Yeah,
there's no accident.
Yeah. And this guy knows that there's some sort of history there. That he's with the sister and his wife and stuff.
So then Thorne has to one up him.
Yeah.
And I'll let you take this one.
Well, I might get it right. So he says the offer of coffee still stands. I thought it's coffee. What is he, a savage? I mean, yeah, he is, I guess. But these people drink tea. So anyway, he gets him some coffee, and he gets up and he says, actually, you know what? I didn't come here to sell you insurance. I just came here to, I don't know, James, to thank you, right? Doesn't he thank him?
That's the very end of it. Before that, he starts bragging about
banging his wife?
Yes, about banging his sister. And
here.
Yeah, about punishing her is the only joy he gets in life.
Right.
She is a meek little bird who eats her toast in the morning and then gets banged like crazy at night.
I have this wicked, So either he's lying that his wife, the other guy's sister, is actually aroused her by some of this and is making it like, oh, you've like this new thing has brought in some energy that wasn't there before. Or he's basically raping his wife, which is probably the case. I don't sense that she's going to act out on her passions on this fucking skinny lump of shit that she's married to, who she's already really bored with.
But he's finally found a weakness in this man that he hates so much, and he is basically grinding his fist into the wound as hard as he can.
Well, when you want to hurt somebody, you attack them, or you attack what they love. And that's why when I want to hurt James, I attack his PlayStation 4. I call it a whore, and I poke it with a butter knife.
So you replace the word "for" with that?
PlayStation whore. James, you ate all the salsa. I needed that salsa for my chips. You fucking bitch!
You sit in front of a mirror and just wipe it on your face.
Yeah.
You blow it against the wall.
And it forms a burrito design on the
Bird with 2 burritos in each talon.
I wear a foil dress and I run around and I wait for you to come home. Ah! All right, so we're a couple of sinners. She eats her toast, and I bang her at night.
And he ends with that line, "I didn't come to sell you insurance. I came here to thank you."
Yeah, there it is.
To which I wrote, "Sick burn."
Sick burn.
Well, I didn't write sick, but I wrote burn.
Burn.
But I meant sick burn.
I get it. Yeah. Well, the sick is silent. All right. Boy, if you guys could be here to see James's iPad notes, those things are immaculate. All right, so back to some weird old castle house, church, something or other.
They need a lawnmower.
They do.
I think that kind of implies that the church is not in well use.
It's a little run down.
A little abandoned.
Yeah, you can tell by the moss on the graves and the fucked up church and the grass and shit. Plus, it's a church. But it's still kind of cool. I like churches. I like going inside them. They're always really quiet and peaceful, unlike my head.
I like them when they're empty.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I wouldn't go in for the words, but like the environment is peaceful. I think churches are cool places. That's just all right. Well, I'm not going to say. Okay, so she walks in. I didn't notice that he was in here right away.
Yep.
There he is. She swats down and does one of those little thank you, Jesus, or something or others, and sits down, and they have this little back and forth. I thought this was an intriguing exchange.
Why would she be so respectful to the church coming in if her intentions are about to be...
James, the world is not as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
People do things ritually. They do things that are to keep up appearances. They do things out of habit, which is ritually, I guess.
There.
I know, but she's not just going to swoop in like a ninja and park down on the seat. She's a lady at church. You do the thing. You walk in. I go to church. I take the holy water. I dab my forehead. I put a little on my chest, penis, shoulder.
I knew that was going to come back.
Well, it's the only way to get it to go down. And then I I go and I say, high five, God.
Doing push-ups must be easy for you.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, once I finally cut a hole in the floor. So anyway, they're...
like the giraffe?
Yeah, like the giraffe. Exactly. The giraffe. The giraffe's... His wiener's in the basement. His feet are on the floor. Okay, we're getting a little distracted. They're not that. That's not... You ever see giraffes fight? Look up a video of...
They slam their necks into each other.
It's crazy.
It's horrifying. I've seen that.
And they're huge.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Their heads are gigantic. So they talk a little bit, and he does this thing with the watch where he shows her. It's like he's just kind of...
Well, the point of that is saying, you summoned me, now what do you want?
Yeah. He's just good at flirting. He's a good flirt. Shall we pray? And they used to have a lot of really close... I think they were probably traumatized by their fucked up parents or whatever. Now, is their dad the same? Is that who they share? Or not?
Yeah, the same father.
Yeah, same father. But it might end up that they're like that she was like adopted or something.
I hope so, because I mean,
otherwise it's just incest.
Yeah, I still think the whole thing was 10 years ago. He and her got together, fathered a child. The child is the boy that he paid off.
Paid for the guy to take care of. Yeah,
the guy who said sucking.
Sucking. James is so. No one thinks he said fucking. If they think that, they're wrong. That's okay. Let them be wrong. Who cares? Are dogs correct when they bark at you? It doesn't matter. Not that I'm comparing those people to dogs. I'm just saying people are fucking just whatever.
And there's also sucking.
Yeah, and sucking. Say this. Say sucky 20 bucky.
No.
So you can't say that?
I'm afraid I'm not going to go down.
I would love it if you did finally swear and you just burnt into a cinder, and then God comes down and goes, "Oh, my son."
Yes. Anywho,
and then he blames me for killing Jesus.
Yes.
You're Jesus. I'm saying you're Jesus.
Okay. Oh, great.
That's why you smell so nice.
So they're in church. He says she summoned him.
Yeah.
And then she comes over and says, "Oh, I have dropped a contact lens."
This part, yeah, and I want to pick it up with my crotch. Yep. But she just straddles him and then kisses him and then gets up. I thought this was, I didn't get hard here, Jim, don't worry. But I was like, whoa. I like when a woman's a little forward because I am dumb. And I like every time she takes the initiative and I'm involved, I'm like, thank you for making it simple for me. Now let's go do some stuff together. You know what I'm saying, James?
But she pretty much does that one little thing and walks away and goes, "Now I never want to see you again."
Yeah, it was brutal. I would be like, oh, I mean, Jesus, he's got the bluest balls in the history of balls and the color blue.
Because he has the makeup.
He's got bluer balls than a blue whale right now. And bigger, probably. And the makeup. And he rubs ashen powdered makeup on it. Lab indigo, isn't that the blue color? So he says, oh no, but we will. So they're flirting. These two, they're just getting it ready, because when they finally do have at it, they're gonna have a great time. And I applaud great times.
All right, so
in other words, I'm trying to say, I hope the guy fucks his sister.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay, so we can push through this part really quickly.
Yeah, let's get to the end.
So basically, it's Lorna back at home with Delaney. Delaney basically tells her, don't go outside, don't do anything, but she is intent on going out for a performance.
Yeah.
So he says, you are a weakness to me, and she says, I don't give a crap, I'm going out. Brace, fetch a carriage for me.
Yep.
And Delaney's like, okay, well, if I can't stop you, then Brace, make it 2 carriages.
Yes.
I'll follow you.
Yeah. Because he's worried. He's got to protect his thing. He can't control her.
Yeah.
You know, not that she's doing anything too crazy. She just doesn't understand the extent of the threat.
Right.
Yeah.
She's not someone who's been threatened extensively before.
Yeah, and of course it's driving Brace crazy.
Yeah. It's great comedic effect for Brace.
You have to get that woman out of this house.
Or I'll kill her.
Yeah, and her bloody canary.
Yeah.
I like that the bird is just bugging him. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's pretty much it.
Oh, look, he's got the same thing as the... that's the same document, or the playbill or flyer is probably the right word, that he found originally, right?
Yeah.
I think it looks like it is.
Yeah.
So
the next scene is going to be Thorne, Geary, with his wife, Zilpha.
Yes.
And he says some horrific stuff. He's basically violently attacking her, saying that you have not given me a child yet.
She's not getting pregnant, and it's making him very angry.
Yeah, if ever there was any doubt that this man was a villain, this scene pretty much solidifies it.
Yeah, and it's the whole thing was crazy. This is him saying something about her knowing what she's been communicating, and it's equally my business. Is saying whatever she's up to is his business.
Yeah, and he brings that point back pretty hard at the end. Yes,
and so then she says, I want some oranges, to try to get the servant out of the room. I think she just wants some privacy, right?
Yeah, and the servant says, I like orange juice.
What is that a reference to?
I'll tell you. If you get that reference, then
I don't know. Okay, all right. It's not a racist reference. So.
No, it is a very popular meme video right now of a guy who sings a song about liking orange juice. It's catchy, it's entertaining, and it's very bizarre.
Where'd you see that? Fucking Reddit? All right, so we can't even afford new china. So she's basically like, dude, chill out. We can't even afford china. We can't have little kids. Crazy asshole, because their money's out. The handsome boy with his tattoos showed up and took all their inheritance. Yeah. The dock boys are paying. He's saying these poor people are getting pregnant and you're not. You fucking bitches. I apologize that I'm not related. That's such a horrible thing to say. Basically saying, oh, you'd probably get pregnant if you were my sister. Like you'd bang that guy, not me. All right, James, you can read this one here.
No.
Say C word.
Canary.
But you could allow your cunt to swallow the work of an honest man. And then she says, stop fucking bleeding. And what a jerk, man. She just sits there and takes it, though. I mean, she doesn't really have a lot. Oh, he yells at the guy. She doesn't want any oranges. Yeah. So she starts to cry. I'm always impressed when actors cry. It's always kind of cool, because I do it sometimes randomly when it means nothing, and they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. And he says the line at the end, we all know what she wants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a direct implication that, you don't want me, you want your brother.
Right. And that's, he's not oranges.
No.
So this dude's a piece of crap. They're really making him, no one's on his side. Not that that's...
Yeah, it's going to make a very satisfying death.
Yeah, exactly. Dies. That's what I'm saying. When Keziah gets around to murdering him with some sort of demon weapon, or the bird comes off his back and stabs him in the eye, it'll be fun for everybody. Speaking of fun for everybody, oh boy, who doesn't? Oh man, oh boy, I just feel like going skiing. All right, so we're back at some sort of play here. These are actors.
The performance that Lorna was going to.
Yeah, yep, and actors are always they always had a lot of makeup, and the audience, good one. But this is a little bit more lower brow, I think, than the previous place we were at. They're not even letting her do the lines. They just start calling out for some other. Person they want to see named Visto or something.
Yeah,
right?
so it wasn't really
And so she yells at him.
Yeah, it wasn't clear when she left that she was going to watch the performance, because she's an actress. It could have been that she wanted to go out and do a performance.
Yeah.
But she's in the audience.
Yeah, she's in the audience. I mean, like a comedian traveling around, you're going to go check out some comedy, go on an environment you're comfortable with. That makes sense. But the actor just stops and yells at the guy, if you just want to jerk off, do it. And so it's this interactive thing. This is what they call breaking the fourth penis. Just for a wank, pull your pudding.
I thought you only had 2.
No, James, I'm talking about the theater.
No.
Okay, you unsophisticated rube. All right,
Please
so
do not animate that on yourself.
I've animated on myself a lot. Actually, that's not true. I have great aim. Enjoy Shakespeare. So she's yelling at him like, come on, you guys just here for the
charlatans. I have practiced my poetic prose, and you want the
yes,
you know.
Yes, this doesn't happen at Hamilton in our world now, where people respectfully watch the theater. You know, some things have evolved a little bit, I guess, but at the same time, we do have vagina bars or strip clubs. I'll fetch up. Yeah, there's Vestris. That's who they're looking for. And so she's like, all right, fine, Vestris. And who is Vestris? Oh, Vestris is loving it.
She looks like a Borderlands 2 character.
Yeah, she does. She's just delivering mail, but she's sassy and wears a choker. And this guy's like the theater guy, probably. Get out there, Vestris. I want to see your legs. So she's not even stripped or whatever. But
it's almost like someone just like turned a giant key in her back and
just spun her around out there like a nutcracker. But you know, this is titillating for this era. I mean, not that I know, but you could go do all kinds of weird kinky shit. They all had gonads just like we do, but they're that's hot right now, considering, you know what I mean? We've all got Imgur, and look at, she's cute, whatever, but she's got the thigh high things, it's got a belt on that one for some reason. I'm not sure why, but they're all about it. These fellas, these randy boys are all about these young girls. And that's
But that's pretty much the end of the interest in the show for Lorna Bow. She was there for the Shakespeare. She's not there for the dancing show.
The dancing show.
So she leaves.
Yeah, she's just enticing. She gets up and she's like, okay, we're on to the jerk-off section of the show. I don't think they do it at all in a big group or anything like that, James. It's not a football game. And she's off and she's walking and it's dark and it's scary and and this whole sequence was interesting. Of course, what does she do to the first person that comes by?
The woman says, I'm an admirer of yours. Come share my carriage.
Yeah. And it's a lady, so that's less, you wouldn't think that she's evil.
But once she gets in, it becomes apparent there's something else going on here. Because she says, I was an admirer of you. I was following you.
Yeah.
And then she even gets so forward as to lean over and try to kiss her.
Well, first she tells her that I have particular tastes. Yes. And an admirer from the darkness. Like, do you want to have a little wing? Now, did they invent scissors yet? All right, so that's what they, and she goes, no, sorry, not really. That's not my thing. I'm flattered, but a gay guy hit on me once, and I was like, dude, that's flattering, but sorry.
So she eventually reveals that she has been purchased along with her as a package deal to perform for the Duke of Richmond.
Yes, which is... that's crazy. So she's like, all right, well, you're not going to make out with me? Well, then you're a whore, and you've already been paid for.
Yeah, and she's saying, but you misunderstand. I'm not a prostitute. I do not do these things. I'm a free, independently thinking person.
Yes, that this guy wants to be in the room while we play. I get it.
Yeah, so basically, this goes back to what they were saying earlier on.
All right, go ahead.
Well, when Coop was in the stage area.
Yeah.
And he talked to the woman who offered him the man, woman, boys, whatever.
Yeah.
And he said, well, what about the woman on the stage? He goes, oh, no, she is off limits. She does not take advances like that. It was at that point that he knew that she was going to reject the advance.
Yes.
And she was going to defend herself.
Right.
Against a powerful person being the Duke.
Right.
So there he is, the Duke of Richmond.
Yeah.
He tries to make an advance on her, and what does she do?
Your manager sold me the costume you wore. Like, look at this guy. Look at this turd. This big fucking Pizza the Hut motherfucker. You will wear it tonight for... Like, what is she going to be like? Okay. Is this supposed to work? But he must be played here, though, right? Or is this guy...
he is played as well,
because he's promised to be this... And he's
being used as a pawn just as much as she is.
And certainly he's used to getting what he wants. Yes. So they probably knew he'd take the aggressive tactic.
Yeah, he was not expecting someone to fight back. So she basically pulls out a small knife and cuts him, stabs him.
Yeah, which I like. I'm all about that. And then we hear gunshot, right? Boom.
Yeah. Hey. So this is all going according to plan.
And this guy goes, I'm Batman.
Yeah. So basically now, someone in a position of power has legitimate in their mind to come after her.
Right.
Which puts her in danger, which gives the enemies an extra card to play.
Yeah, now that they've created a arrest warrant, basically. Yes. I'll get you before Mass. I like that. He's telling you, like, I'm going to kill you before church. Which is basically saying, really early.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you before the library opens. So that was no good. That's a worrying development. Poor lady. And then they kind of go down here and he's like, look, you're going to go to Paris. He gives her a diamond and you're going to stay in Paris. Don't you fucking... And she's starting to kind of figure out that this shit is getting pretty serious here. So he's protecting her. I mean, he wouldn't give up a diamond for somebody. I mean, obviously...
I think he has 13... Well, he started with 14, I think.
You counted them?
I read something on IMDb about one of the episodes that he had 14 diamonds.
Okay, so we got to keep out for Diamond Watch here. And then he goes home. Brace is like she came home and she went straight up to her bed, and then I didn't like the fire, so she can dry off, whatever. Apart from me and the canary, what's wrong?
Pick on what he said. I didn't like the fire in the room, so she can dry in the draft.
Yeah,
that's being mean to her.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny because Brace hates her.
Yeah, Brace hates. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was thinking that when we were watching. I was like, well, no, you dry better with fire. Fire is not humid. But
so Delaney is well aware of what happened.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, yeah, this was a setup. They got her. Now they have reason to come for her. That was their plan, and believe me, they are going to come for her.
Yeah. So he basically explains that. I like, I got to say about this show, I like that they do that where they just sort of like lay it out, whatever's going on.
Yeah, just in case you missed it, they recap for you.
It's good because I miss it hard. I don't miss it as much when we're not doing this. This is weird because I'm hitting the screenshot thing, so I'm thinking, oh no, I don't. I need to get that dialogue. Oh fuck, I missed. Fuck. I don't want to get all the dialogue. Okay, I can't do it for this one. All right. So my brain, a couple gears are spinning in my brain that otherwise, if I weren't doing, not that I'm complaining, it's just that it's. I'm not as stupid. I'm trying to say I'm not that dumb. I am pretty dumb.
No, I think you might need to edit a ghost into one of these for us.
Ooh.
Because I didn't see any.
It'll be a ghost of you.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me another 20 minutes of work, James. Piece of shit. So we reach the end. She's under threat. She's accepting it. He's going to have to protect her. I'm curious to see where she goes in the season. Is she going to be? Is he going to like one more episode where he has to like defeat the adversaries to get her out of town, and then she's gone for a while, or is she going to remain in the whole season? And there's going to be some sort of character development. Yeah. I got a feeling he and her are going to bang because they're around the same age.
I mean, the fact that he gave her a diamond kind of reiterates the point that you were making earlier, is that he does care about her to some extent. Yeah. He doesn't want to see her dead.
I think he's a decent guy.
Yeah, he wants to get the paperwork signed and get all the, all this business taken care of, but at the same time, he doesn't want her to die.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just basically the opposite of all of his adversaries.
Yeah.
Almost in every way. He's handsome. They're not. They all look like old turkeys that got left out, when you fuck up a turkey on Thanksgiving and then your family tells you, So, did you like the episode?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I liked it.
You still excited about the season? About the show?
And I guess we can apologize for being a little late in getting this one up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
It's been a really, really bad
long
week of work for me right now. Yep. Very stressful week.
Yep, and I'm unemployed, so my depression is worse.
Yeah.
So, we've had a couple I just don't have it in me right now because it does take a few hours. It takes at least 3 hours. We had to watch it, then it's another hour and a half of talking, which we usually try to do 45 minutes and it never works out. And then for me, it's at least another couple hours of editing, and if I decide to do animation, that adds more time. So it does. It's not like as simple as it should be. Maybe we should live. Nah, that's a bad idea. We're asking for trouble.
Yeah, because you can't because usually if we say something really, really stupid, then the cue is Hank will clap. I'm not going to do it right now because it's going to mess him up in the editing.
Well, let's leave one in. I'll leave this one in. And I do that,
and then we try again.
It creates a waveform, and so here, hold on. Hank, remove the part where you clapped. All right, so
when we first started doing this, I thought he was just applauding for himself. Like, oh, that was a good joke. Yes, I am great.
But no, that's while I sleep. That's why my arms are so strong.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go, everybody. We got through the end. I'm intrigued. I want to find out how much magic is going on. Do you think there's real magic, like real supernatural stuff, or no?
The fact that he was able to communicate with his father from long distances and commune with his mother who is dead, I think he's got some powers.
Okay, so we're seeing some powers. Maybe Samuel L. Jackson will turn up at the end and say, you want to be on my team of heroes.
I think Winter is dead.
Winter is dead?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Winter's a ghost is one of James's big theories. All right, well, we'll see y'all later. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like and check out our other playthroughs or video shot by shots. We do this for a bunch of shows. And thanks for being patient. If we're not as consistent, we're trying, but until we're at full-time status with this channel here, we won't be able to. Well, I'm making up excuses now, completely, because I'm full of shit. Other than that, James, you've been awesome.
Cool.
Thanks for not swearing. You will always maintain your dignity, no matter how hard I try. It's sucking. So, all right. It's okay. You're fine. You're gonna be all right. You're still gonna get into heaven. Don't worry. I'll walk you to the gate, and they'll kick me out. Get your friend out of here, James. He's a piece of you know what. And you'll be like, I'm home. Okay. So we'll see you all later. Bye bye. I love you. Not James. I love the audience. I don't love James.
Thank you.